Kings of Dirt and the GXCC races are proudly brought to you by Northwest Bulk Carriers and all of the GXCC co-sponsors.
It's a lot of rain in this area. Unfortunately, I had to change the route a lot. We had an amazing long quad loop and I had to take most of it out. We couldn't cross over to the other half of the track because of well, it was a little sprake out the river. But even though because of that, it's still a good route.
Ek dink dit gaan nat wees soos wat ek sien het op die video's van Lawrence, dink ek dit gaan nat wees, so ons gaan met die brille gaan 'n groot probleem wees, dink ek.
Planned to finish the previous two races. It wasn't all my luck, it didn't go all my way, but we'll see how it goes into this race.
I think they are. I've generally run a fairly conservative race up until now. I've always sort of waited for the last sort of 4 or 5 laps. Today I'm going to go on it from word to word go. I think it is a fairly short loop from what I hear. It's going to be fast. There's no time to play catch up on laps 4 or 5, but then you're going to be 5 minutes behind. So my goal today is hit it from the start and try and keep up, if not get past them.
Round 3 of the Championship Racing Series, Bapsfontein, a brand new race venue. Rusman took round number 1. Gideon took round number 2. Would it be the turn for the Yamaha man, Keenan Hammond, to shine at this brand new racetrack? Off the gate, it was all about Ruan Tout getting an incredible pull off the inside line, but it didn't last too long. Bang! A big connection, tearing him off his bike, and that meant that Keenan Hammond was going to have to do the big chase down because once again, it was Gideon Jacobs with clear air out front. Rusman on his wheel. The second lineup of the day was going to be the Q2s, the open class quad category. Hannes Simon came out the gate firing inside line, controlling the cheese. Whilst on the outside, Björn van Sail on the inside, Ron Stander looped it out in the ultra slippery, loose, wet grass of the morning. That meant it was Hannes Simon running clear air early on lap 1. Traction was going to be an issue. The Masters category had Steph Bester on point once again. Steve Wilkinson would have to see what he could do to try and chase down his Yamaha stablemate. But coming out of turn number 1 and having the inside line into turn number 2, it was driving out of the 421 stable, Brian Herbst, who ran clear air early on. Out front on track, it was all about Keenan Hammond controlling the race out front with problems on lap number 1 for Gideon Jacobs. Everyone was chasing him down.
Well, it does. I've heard it's even closer to 30Ks, so we'll be doing 2 laps on a refuel, so again, there's no time to waste. When you come in for your fuel stops, you've got to get in out to about 5 or 6 seconds. Otherwise, you're going to be behind the 8 ball.
Jacobs had an intermittent problem on the ultra-competitive KTM as he was getting chased down by Ruan Tout. And 6 overall, leading the Q2s was Hannes Simon.
A little bit short, but very enjoyable quad loop, very enjoyable. The guys are in for a treat. Charles, the owner, sent a big tractor with a massive tyre and we dragged the whole loop. We took all that slush mud away. So the sun is out today. I think it's going to be awesome.
Henny McCow Sr. was making the young whippersnappers very nervous as his methodical style was delivering the cheese every single time. couple of Can-Ams and the entire DeSantos crew were out this time around, so we knew they were going to be walking away with a couple of trophies come the end of the day. Rian Dick still struggling to find his form as he was wrestling at top 5.
The route is safe, well marked, and I mean the whole thing is well organized. So it's fun to do it. It's a real fun time doing the GXCC.
Peter Simon Deploy, one of the riders, getting caught out with some roost. It looked dry in the forest, but out on the open flat plains, it was bog racing.
Yeah, look, all the guys that are here have done it all before, and they, the guys know what they're doing, and they've been doing it for years. So it's difficult for me, but you've got to give it horns. You can only do what you can do. Yeah, it's good for me. It's my first year doing enduro. I've never done this before. I've only done a bit of oval, so to come out and be in the front, I'll take it.
After an incredible pull off line, Herbst unable to convert his whole shot into a win. He took a 6 behind 5th place, Stef Bester.
Because of the railways, the farmlands make turns, long, sweepy, windy corners, which makes good racing. But the rain made it challenging. But like I said, the farmer gave us a big tractor with a big tyre. We pulled all that slush and mud away. Now we're down to the hard ground. And I think it's going to be perfect conditions.
A normal podium threat, Steve Wilkinson only managing a 4th place with a collapsed rear bearing, trying to chase down on Pete Swanepoel, who managed to bag a solid 3rd place ride at Bapsfontein. Up the road, it was the DeSanti. First up, Tony DeSantos, 2nd place. Meaning it was the first win of the season for Roxy DeSantos. Factory Racing, delivering the goods at round number 3 of the GXCC series in the Masters category. Confirmation then of a round number 3 victory for Roxy DeSantos ahead of Tony DeSantos, Pete Swanepoel, Steve Wilkinson still in the mix, and Stef Bester, 5th place, desperately trying to hang onto those championship points. After a consistent start to the season, not missing the podium, it was looking very much like Keegan Hammond would walk away with his first victory as he controlled the front and extended away from all of his chasers. By this stage though, Hannes Simon had really got himself on point and was running 2nd overall and leading in the Q2s. Gideon Jacobs has got rid of his early race problems and was 3rd but 2nd place in the Q1s. An incredible ride from Henny Macau Sr. put him inside of a top 5 and 2nd in the Q2s.
It does, and I think that's the beauty of the GXC, is that you get to ride different terrains at different parts of our country. This is nice and close to home. They say it is fast, it is wet, but it is fast.
Christian Nell was inside of the top 6, his best ride of the season so far, trying to stay ahead of TJ DeSantos and Rian Dick, who was finally getting his form at the halfway marker.
I'm not a quad rider, but I've been talking to the quad riders, and it sounds like that's what they like. They like long corners where they can put the bike into a drift and then use that to their advantage. And if I see these guys ride, I mean, I can't watch. I get so nervous when I watch Keenan and Gideon and Hannes and the guys ride. But it sounds like that's what they like.
On one of the slowest sections, Henny Macau was having a great ride, but Christian Nell has really put his name in the hat and is going to be a championship and podium threat going forward with the rest of the season. TJ DeSantos, same story there, and Factory Racing came out swinging here for this round. But Keenan Hammond finally breaks his duck and gets his win of the season at lucky round number 3. Hannes Simon, once again, will be controlling the points championship race lead in the Q2s and desperately trying to cling onto his championship points lead. Gideon Jacobs gets himself up there come the end. It was a number 2 spot for him, but all about Hammond at round number 3. Christian Nell, incredible ride to get on to the top 3 and make the podium ahead of Van Veek and Tout. Q2s though, all about Hannes Simon once again hammering the nail. This time out though, it was Henny Macau Sr. with a solid number 2 spot and a ton of points ahead of TJ DeSantos, Rian Dick and CD Goosen. For the bikes, it would be a combination of the quad and junior loops all put together to make a sprint lap of just over 42 kilometers.
I can't say thank you enough to Zach and the whole team at Schimmels. You know, they had to order special lithium batteries from the States and change all the wiring and stuff to get it right. But yeah, now we've got the long range tank so we can do 2 laps like the other guys. But yeah, looking forward to today. Looks a bit slippery out there, but yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I must say, I'm not sure what to expect today. The previous race was very fast. They said this one's going to be even faster. I prefer the bit more technical stuff, but I'm looking forward to this. I think it's going to be fun. A lot of fast guys, so I'm obviously going to have to give it all.
First gate out once again would be the OR1 Pro Big Bangers. It was a great hole shot for D'Artagnan Lobjoy, but short-lived as he kissed the dirt and left open air for JC.
The start is everything. If you get a good start and you're out in the front, you control the race. If it's dusty, first of all, you don't have dust, and you know, you can go out there and ride your own race. It's got its challenges. When you're the first bike out, you have to find the route and you know, lay the tracks down. But you know, my events, I go out to make the route open for the first guy.
In the OR2 category, all eyes would be on the motocross crossover. JJ Daisel once again putting the wheel out front, popping it in the air and confirming his dominance of this category. It was a class veteran, Bernard Delport, who pushed him the hardest in the early corners.
This class is always the biggest class. I think it's got the most competition. I've got Stefan, Ian is always a threat as well, so we just take it as it comes and we make sure we get to the end.
OR3s has been the wildest gate throughout the season. Round number 3 saw a returning champion, Jared Kutsia, back on point, but he'd have to chase down on Stefan van Deventer, round number 2 winner, and a returning from his injuries, Ian Rawle, who would be a madman on this format of a track.
It's quite fast, so it's definitely going to be fast. But I think it's, you know, it's going to have to do with staying on the bike, because I think it's going to be fast and slippery. So just trying to find that, you know, that rhythm and trying to get into the right pace.
Dion de Toy was back on the bars and trying to run his pace inside as he stayed ahead of a returning rider, another rider coming back from injuries, Lo Schmidt. Ruan Potgieter, who was ranked number 2 in the championship coming into this round, and behind him was leading OR2 rider Bernard Delport. Just behind him was OR2 opening round winner JJ Daisel.
But yeah, I've got a new bike, so I'm very excited. I've got the XE now. The previous race I did with the EXE, so I'm really looking forward to see what the new bike's got, especially on the long straights.
Trav Gielig was back on form as well and having to do a bit of solo representation for the Pepsin Plastics Factory Husqvarna squad as Taki Bojjarges was out on the sticks on the sideline. After that, Dirk Olivier, Jason Fenter would also be trying to see what they could do about getting onto the box. Lap number 1 was about everyone trying to figure out how the track was going to be running. Lots of variation, tight and twisty and loamy in the trees, but this would run up nicely as the day got a little bit longer. Adriano Catalano was out there doing the business on the 2-smoker, and Ian Rawle, an early race leader in the OR3s. After that, the returning rider who was near on untouchable last year, Jared Kutsia, an early number 2 spot with the ever-consistent Darren McLeod running number 3. Stefan van Deventer, round number 2 winner, was off the box at the moment, a lonely 4th place. Back on the gate, the seniors were getting twitchy, and it was an early bit of clear air and a hole shot for Lee Thompson.
Off-road is my background. That's where I started. I started racing in Bapsfontein like 25 years ago. And now we're back here. So it's our old stomping ground, and my old man's racing today. So yeah, going for a good day today.
Breaking the top 10 in a lineup that had almost over 40 riders is going to be a tough one. Alan Ryan made it into the top 10, chasing down on Vian Duplessis. Then Hannes Simon, straight off his victory on the quads, made it up into 8th place. Ahead of him was Kim Bergman, a rider much more au fait with a bit of rock hopping, but starting to find his pace.
When they come off the quad loop onto the junior loop, it's gonna tighten down a lot. It's gonna be nice, like I said, forest roads, grasslands, windy sections, two-spur roads, and then a fast section coming back.
Ludwig Janssen van Vuren was back into racing, but he had picked a smaller capacity 250 machine for this one. That meant he was going to be a little bit down on horsepower. Up the road was Hugo Leroux, and then Sean Lloyd, the man who's made his name known, crossing over from MX to off-road.
Try for a top 3. Bruce Falloon is going very, very well, and I see Lee Thompson's up there now, and so yeah, it's some good competition, so looking forward to it.
Cementing his number 3 spot and good points on the page, and up the road, Bruce Falloon, this time 2nd.
I mean, I've just back from injury, so, you know, feeling good out there. Just need to work on the fitness a little bit more, but I can't complain, man. I've had a great day, and it's been fantastic.
Round number 3 in the seniors gave us our 3rd winner of the tour. That meant a new name back into racing. Wade Blau, welcome back. It's been a long time, buddy. A former stalwart of the National Championship Racing Tour for many years, crossing over a couple of different categories, and this time, now, filling up the senior ranks and taking another win on the tour. Confirmation then of Blau taking the big victory over Falloon, but all about Lloydie, 3rd place and consistent in the championship pool so far. A massive Masters gate, but 2 people chasing the cheese.
Oh, no, I think me and Wayne, we've come a long way, and we really enjoy racing together. It's not fun if you're out there far in front and there's nobody chasing you, so we're having good fun.
Inside of a top 10, Andrew Russell was doing the numbers. Remember, the Masters were out there for a full 3 hours on a churned up track. Johnny Tassini and Sean Johnson chased down and locked down 8th and 7th place respectively, with Bert Smith just outside of a top 5 finish. Ian Fenton was back in his Masters gate where he normally lines up on the factory Sherco, and up the road from him was the unstoppable Johan Gray. With Gray missing out on the podium, that left a nice slot for Justin Broughton to slide his way in on the Red Hot Products, former factory Sherco. 3rd place, he'll be happy with that.
Yeah, no, it's been crazy the whole day. Got the whole shot on the new bike, so it wasn't quite comfy on the first lap, and then Peter passed me, and he sort of just kept the distance, but then 2nd, 3rd we got going again, caught up, and yeah, the bugger here is jumping fuel stops unfortunately, but we catch him up next time, eh?
Again, banging on, it's just awesome for you to race, you entertain everyone around as well.
No, I must say, I thought when I passed Wayne in the first lap, I thought I had him, and when I looked around and I heard the 2-stroke, I thought it could only be him, and when I saw him, I just thought, how the hell can he, at the speed that I'm going, relaxing for not 1 second, he was like on me, and I just don't know.
Epic as always. This time Hall takes it, and that's his 2nd win of the season. Farmer will not be happy to take the number 2 spot, but it's going to be a fight down to the wire. The high school gate saw 2 new winners at the season openers.
Been a good year, good competition, and different winners at every race so far this year, and I'm looking forward to this one.
At the thick end, it was going to be a dice to the wire. Inside the top 10, we saw Stephen Smith tracing down on the Glock, Michael Glockel. Inside of a top 8, it was Jean-Ruben Puerta. Lovely to see these new names climbing the ladder. Up the road from him, Joshua Johnson, making the crossover from last season, 85cc Seniors, his first year on the big 125s. A championship threat from last year, Leon Jardine, battling to find the form that he had in 2017. 6th place finish for him, and up the road, Devon Cocker.
Yeah, my starts this year haven't been that great. And I'm going to try my best today. Hopefully I can get out the gate first and just go from there.
Round number 2's 1st and 2nd place. Peltzer and Robbie this time around trying to pick up the pieces. 3rd and 4th respectively this time around. So different numbers running the pace out front. Still no win on the season for Peltzer. Robbie, round number 2 winner, just managing to make the box in 3rd. round number 1 winner Lo Pretorius, still showing the form that he arrived into the season with, and solid, consistent, another number 2 spot, good for the championship. Which meant there was a brand new winner on the tour, which has been the theme of the GXCCs for 2018. Stormful Yun stepped off the Yamaha 250 last year, stays in the high schools, picks up a ride with Biker Warehouse on the Husky 125, and is your round number 3 new winner at the top of the pile. Confirmation then Stormy with his first big one, Lo Pretorius solid in number 2 spot, Robbie in 3rd, Peltzer 4th place, still no win for Mr. 125. The pace was picking up out front as Charon was starting to get closed down by JC.
Definitely, you know, the first race I had bike issues, and then second race I had a very bad lineup pick, and so this event at least I'm starting 5th, so that should help definitely with getting to the corner a bit better.
Dart was running in a 3rd place with Lo Schmidt now running ahead of Dion de Toy. And in the OR2s it was still Delport.
Yeah, that's a while back, but I think once you know kind of how to ride that, it's definitely going to help me a bit. That's why I say I'm not sure what to expect. I don't know at all. I don't know this area, but I'm going to go out, see what it is, and take it as it comes, and just give it all and enjoy it.
With JJ chasing down on Delport, Travis Gielig was finding all kinds of funky lines to try and run the numbers and stay ahead of a chasing OR1 flyer, Ruan Potkita. In the OR3s, it was still the brawler Ian Rawle out front, but so close was Jared Kutsia, really building the pace. The ever-consistent McLeod was coming along for the ride as well. Another podium would give him the championship points lead. On the final lap, JC Nienaber played his cards and hit the front.
Yeah, I came here just to test a few things for the next national, and I honestly didn't expect to be up front and that, because the guys have been charging hard here, and they know the racing and the conditions, you know, Low and Dart and JC. I thought it would be like playing catch-up, but I had a good start, got a good jump.
2017 champion was all about the chase down. That was the Dart, trying to stay ahead of a resurgent Lo Schmidt, and Dion de Toy having his best ride to date. Delport had to retire from the race, handing second place ride and now race lead to the OR2 of JJ Dasel, with Travis Gielig coming along for the ride. That would give him the number 2 spot. Ruan Potkita was losing touch. It would be a 6th place finish in the OR1s, but a 3rd place finish for Jason Fenter in the OR2s, and a new leader in the OR3s. Jared Kutsia had come good. Rawler getting lost, moving McLeod now up into 2nd place. At this late stage of the race, 3rd would be the best the brawler could manage. But when the checkers hung out, it was the big man once again, JC, his 2nd win on the season.
I'm pretty chuffed. Sharon had quite a good lead in the start, but I just pushed. It was quite a rough track. Lawrence wasn't lying when he said it was fast, but it was pretty good. It was something I enjoyed. I mean, I live 8 k's from here. It's my backyard. So I'm pretty chuffed to take that 1st place.
Confirmation then of his 2nd win on the season and a championship points lead for JC Nienaber ahead of Charon Moore. D'Artagnan Lovejoy 3rd place. That'll move him up into 2nd for the championship, staying ahead of Lo Schmidt, and Dion de Toy rocking a 5th place ride. It was another win on the season for the OR2s. JJ Dasel confirms that he is a massive championship racing threat. A solid 2nd place this time around for Travis Gielig, and Jason Fenter back onto the box as he was at round number 1, moving him to 2nd in the championship.
Yeah, I must say I'm very happy with that. My focus now for the rest of the year is just to try and stay up there, finish every race, because I mean, no finish is no point. So I'm just going to try my best to finish every race and just do what I do and have fun.
In the OR3s, return to form, return to winning ways for Jared Kutsia, beating out Darren McLeod, but it's McLeod who will lead the championship, and Ian Rawle taking 3rd on the day.
Yeah, I mean, last year was the 2nd year running. I had to set out with another ACL recon, and you know, it's been down, but it's been a long road back to this point, and I've been really battling with injuries, and it feels really good to get the monkey off my back and have a good race again, and I hope it just carries through for the rest of the season.
All this GXCC racing proudly brought to you by Northwest Bulk Carriers and all of the GXCC associated sponsors.